Okay, we're back with turn 5 of Dreadnought, and we're playing Dogger Bank. As I said, we're up to turn 5 with this now. A couple things to note before we get started with this is, just the general situation. The British have inflicted some damage on the German ships. Seydlitz and Mortar both have speed hits. And of course the bigger ones is that the light cruisers and one batch of destroyers have been knocked out. One sunk, one wrecked over here. Blucher, you can see, is off by itself along with the destroyers. The British destroyers remaining tightly together and separating them from the main fleet of the three main German battle cruisers. For the British, their main battle cruisers, Lion, Tiger, and Prince Royal, still together, as well as New Zealand and Indomitable. They are actually close in over here, so we should see some interesting action as the battle goes on here. So let's get going with this, and we'll start out with the turn. So first off, we get the visibility. It's a 1 plus 9 is 10. So it's a very short range, kind of a minimum range that we're going to have. Checking some of the LOSs here, we will see that we will still have pretty much line of sight to everybody, just within range on there. So that'll mean everybody can fire on each other. So let's go right to the fire attacks. So we're going to get the Lion firing at the Seydlitz. You can see here they're only going to be firing a 4. Because they are halved, and then, well, they actually should be doubled over here. So yeah, it should be back up to 9. So anyways, their shot on here is going to be a 10 for minus 7, 2 damage versus 8 armor on the Seydlitz, so they were okay. Continuing on to the Tiger, they'll get 18 in them with a minus 4, or excuse me, minus 2. They roll an 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. 4 damage against 10 armor for the Der Flieger. So that's no damage, bounces off. Prince Royal going against the Mortar. And they will be at 18, and they roll a 6. Minus 3 is no damage. All right, New Zealand taking fire at Mortar. They actually should have a minus 1 DRM. I forgot about that for multiple shots. They're all on 9. I did remember. No, I didn't. They're all at 8. It would have been an 8 anyway, so there was, even with the minus 1, it would have made 8. So that's a hit because their armor is a 7. So it's a 1-to-1 attack. And they roll a 7, which winds up giving them 1 G on them. You can't see it here, but I didn't write it in, but we'll see it here in a moment. Indomitable firing at the Seydlitz as well. They roll a 3. That's no damage. Alright, so the main battle cruiser fired. Not much damage occurred, even though they're in close range here. We'll have to see what the Germans do here in just a little bit. Now we've got the British light cruisers taking shots. They got no damage. And the same thing with the destroyers now. And I think they will have no damage. And they will have no damage. And no damage again. They're all firing against the main battle cruisers up here. They don't have much range on these guys over here. These guys can shoot at them, and I think they do have them shooting at them. But again, mostly these are no damage, too far away, and too low of dice rolls. Okay, so now we're coming to the Germans' turn. And we're going to get the Blucher here firing back at the D-13, which is right over here. Trying to do some damage. They roll a 7. They get 2 damage, but the armor is just too much, so there's no damage. Now the Der Flieger is going to fire against the Lion. This could be interesting. 36 attack strength, -2 DRM, but they roll a 5, no damage. Okay, firing at the Tiger, similar situation with a -3. They roll low 6, -3 is 3, that's no damage. And Ciderlitz at the Prince Royal, 30, -3. They roll a 9. 9 minus 3 is 6. 8 damage against 5 armor. It's a 1-to-1 attack. Ooh, they roll an 11. That's 1G, 1S against the Prince Royal. So that's significant damage on the British. Alright, Der Flieger firing at secondaries at the destroyers. And they miss. Moktair fires secondaries at destroyers. They miss. Ciderlitz doing the same thing. All 3 miss. Now we've got the D-51 down here shooting back at the destroyers. They miss. And D-53 also a miss. Alright, so not much damage. Most significant one was here on the Tiger. There we go. There's the damage reveal. Or excuse me, Prince Royal, and they are 1G, 1S. We also see that the Moktair is 1G, 2S, and he is going to be dead in the water unless they can recover some of that damage in the damage control phase of the turn. Okay, for movement now. The British are actually going to turn, the main battle fleet's going to turn southeast and head southeast for 3, trying to stay on the broadside, the starboard broadside of the German fleet. The other 2 battle cruisers, New Zealand and Indomitable, are going to go after the Blucher. So they head down and chase after the Blucher. The destroyers are going to try to move into a position where they can fire torpedoes. And they go up over here. And this other group will actually go down and start heading for the Blucher as well. And the Blucher is going to move to there. So Blucher is trying to race off the board. They're going to go after him over here. Meanwhile, the main forces up here kind of split off. So it's really going to become 2 battles at this point with the 2 units. You can see here the Moktair, with its damage, can only move 1 hex, basically drifting. The Ciderlitz and the Der Flieger have moved ahead to try to keep pounding against the British battle cruisers. The German destroyers have moved forward to keep in pace with the British destroyers going after the Blucher back over here. Now the important piece of the turn is damage control. So we're going to go after the Moktair, trying to get their G hit off. They roll a 3, that's success. And the rolling for the S roll is a 2, both successes. So they drop down to a 1S in terms of their damage. Ciderlitz trying to get rid of their S, roll a 6, that fails. The Lion is going to try to get rid of their 1G hit, and they're successful. And the Prince Royal is going to try to get rid of both their G and S hits. They fail and fail again. Okay, that's all our damage. So there we go. The end of turn 5. On to turn 6. We've got basically 2 groups forming up here. We'll zoom out so you can see it a little bit better strategically. Where you can see the Blucher running off, part of the British fleet going after them. The rest of the German fleet up here is trying to fight themselves out. Now, this is a very tough position for the Germans because the British are still pretty much intact in their formations. The Germans have lost their formations, they've lost ships, and they're going to have to try to pull it together. So, with that, we'll see what happens on turn 6. And here we are at turn 6. So we can see here ships are in their 2 groups here. So let's move forward and see what's going to happen. So first off is the visibility roll. Roll 5. 5 plus 9 is 14. So we've got a pretty good visibility, except for maybe the destroyers seeing the German destroyers seeing the British battle cruisers up here, but they won't be shooting at each other. Let's get to the fire phase. Lion is going against the Siderlitz. They'll be doubled, -2 because they do have they did cause damage from the last turn, I should say. So they roll a 7, -2 is 5. Gets a 8 damage, 8 armor, so that's going to be 1-to-1. Roll an 11. That's another 1S, a 1G, 1S hit on the Siderlitz. This will be significant damage because the Siderlitz, if we zoom in here, already has a 1S, so they're going to become dead in the water until they can repair. Tiger is firing against their Deflieger again. They've got a -2 DRM. Roll a 9. Oof, that's another good hit. They actually scored damage, 10 damage versus 10 armor for the Deflieger. So the British are really scoring hits, but their combat roll is a 5, so there's actually no damage. Ugh. So they hit, but didn't cause any damage. Prince Royal fires at the Moltke over here. Well, -3 DRM on the 18 fire column. Rolls a 6. That gets -3 is 0. Gets 3, which is 0 damage. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, so the main British battle force really hit the Siderlitz pretty hard. We'll see what the Germans do when it's their turn to fire. New Zealand is going to take a shot at the Blucher. If I line this up properly. Right over here. There we go. Taking a shot at the Blucher. 5 attack strength, -1 for no damage, just the -1. So roll a 9, gets an 8. Ooh, 9 -1 is 8. 4 damage, 4 armor. That's going to be a 1-to-1 damage on there. Ooh, another 5, which is no significant damage. So they hit them, but don't wound them. Next, the Indomitable, firing on them as well. They roll a 3. 3 -1 is 2. No damage. Okay, now the smaller ships, the L11 up here, taking pot shots at the Moltke. They miss. D11, they miss. Or no, D11 actually does score a hit, but it's 6 damage points because there's a -2, making it 9 with a summit armor. Is a miss, or no damage. So then we got D12 back over here, taking a shot at the Siderlitz. -4 DRM, that's a 2, that's nothing. D13 over here, they're going to be taking some shots at the other German destroyers. No damage, and no damage. That's the 15 and 14 there. D16's firing at them, and they score a miss as well. Okay, now it's over to the Germans. So the British had scored some hits against the Siderlitz. Let's see what the Germans can do against them. Blucher firing back at D13, which is this one down here. He scores a 3, which is going to be -1, which is no damage. Flieger firing 36 against the Lion. Rolls a 6, -3 is a 3, no damage. Ugh. Siderlitz going against the Prince Royal, trying to do more damage. Rolls a 3. Oh, they had a good chance too. They had a good chance, but a bad roll. Okay, Molktar firing at the Tiger. Rolls a 7. -3 is 4, which is 6 damage. And that's going to be 1-1. But they roll a 2. Oh, Germans can't buy a roll on this this particular turn. Okay, I think we just have the destroyers left for the Germans. Oh no, De Flieger is firing their secondaries at D12. That's this over here. No damage. Molktar is firing at L11 up here. They actually score a hit. It's going to be 2 damage to 1 armor, 2-1. Roll a 6, which is a 1G. So that knocks out their guns. That's not good because they've only got 1 damage control. Ciderlitz fires their secondaries at D12 as well. And they roll 8 -3 is 0. No damage. 8 it's 5, excuse me, no damage. D51 down here. He's going to take a shot at the destroyers, D13. And they get 7 -3, no damage. D52, firing at D15. Again, no damage. So a lot of misses. But this is typical. You did not have a lot of, direct hits. A lot of splashing in the water around these ships when they're firing from longer ranges, even from the shorter ranges, as we can see. They did not score a lot of hits on here. When they did, it was pretty devastating, as we could see, with the Ciderlitz and the Prince Royal up here, both taking 1G, 1S hits. Okay, moving on to the movement phase. So first we're going to reveal all of the damage. So you can see Ciderlitz is in pretty tough shape. And the Prince Royal still is as well. So we're going to get them moving as much as they can. Germans, that is, German battle cruisers. They're kind of limping along here, which is not good. The other ones, the destroyers, screening units, which are destroyers, move up. Oh yes, and here I had to shift this back because the Blucher was going off the board, so we had to do an adjustment. Now we can move the Blucher. They move ahead 6, and the British destroyers move ahead 7. They're slowly catching up. Same thing with the 2 smaller battle cruisers, the New Zealand and the Indomitable, chasing after them. And then we have the our main battle cruisers, the Lion, Tiger, and Prince Royal, moving as much as they can. And then those other 2 destroyers have kind of broken off here, have moved forward. And they're in an excellent position for a torpedo attack on the next turn. They are lined up perfectly that they can fire on them, even if the, oops, I didn't want to do that, even if the Ciderlitz and Der Flieger move, there most likely will be a torpedo attack going on the next turn. Okay, now actually the light cruisers and this destroyer are going to move off to the northwest, just to get out of the way, because they're not really going to be needed. The British are sensing a victory here because all they need to do is knock out the Ciderlitz and they will have their wrecked ship. Plus they've got plenty of points ahead of them there as well, so they'll probably disengage after that. Maybe the second unit here, or second group, New Zealand and Indomitable, as well as the destroyers going after them, will take on the Blucher and wreck that as well. But we will see how that goes. So let's anyways go see what our damage control is. All right, first L11. They're going to try to get rid of one of their Gs. They fail. Prince Royal, going to try to get rid of its 1G. It's success. And the Prince Royal S, it fails. So they can get rid of their 1G. Still going to be slow. Molktar is going to try to get rid of its 1S. It does. So they're back up to fighting trim. Ciderlitz is trying to get rid of its gets rid of its 1G, and now 1S roll success, so they're back to just 1S, and there we have it. Why do we not? There we go. I just didn't reveal on those. There we go. And there we have it for turn 6. Yeah, turn 6, because we're on to turn 7. So that's the end of turn 6. So with that, we still see some heavy damage on these guys over here. Ciderlitz is in tough shape here because it's actually used 4 of its damage control. So 4 more, and it's going to be very vulnerable to wrecking. For the British, same thing with the Lion. Lion has 3, and they only have 2 more before they're in a tough spot. These guys are okay. Blucher actually has 2 as well. So, that's where we are at the end of turn 6. Still scoring hits, but, it's still anybody's game so far. So let's move on to turn 7. Okay, back with turn 7. And starting this out, let's see what the visibility is going to look like. It's going to be 9 plus 2 is 11. So this will start to get a little bit interesting here because I think the Blucher will still barely be in range. Yeah, he's at 9, so that's pretty good. These guys are still all in range. These guys have to the north, the light cruisers and this destroyers. I think they're out of range of everybody. Oop, I didn't want to do that. I want to do that. No, they're just barely in range, but the fighting is really going to be over here, these close range stuff. So let's see how this goes. Fire phase. So the Lion is going to be firing at the Ciderlitz, 36 with a -2. Ooh, an 11. That's going to be a hard hit on there. So that's going to be 18 damage to 8 defense. That's 2 to 1. And they roll a 5, which is, oh, wait a minute, 5. Oh, no. Oh, excuse me. I hit that by, why did I do that? It actually was a 10. I hit the dice roll there. I didn't mean to do that, which is a 2G, which puts them back up to 2G1S on there when we reveal the damage. Tiger fires at the Flieger. 36 with a -2, rolls a 7. 7 minus 2 is 5. 8 damage against 10 armor, which is no penetration. Prince Royal firing at the Mokdare. He rolls a 7. 7 minus 2 is 5, which is 8. 8 on 7 is a 1 to 1. They roll a 7, another 1G. Alright, so not a significant damage, but still damage. New Zealand firing at the Blucher. Ooh, rolls a 12. That is going to be 12 damage against 4 armor, 3 to 1. Rolls an 8, 1G, 1S. Ooh, that's a telling hit. Indomitable fires at Blucher with a multiple ship. Minus, oh, an 11. Another 2 to 1 damage. Another 1G. So they're 2G, 1S at this point. Lost all their gunnery and slowed down. D12 is firing at the Ciderlitz. Misses. 15. Misses. So now we go to the German fire. Blucher is firing at D13. No damage. De Flieger firing at the Lion. 10 damage, 5 armor, 2 to 1. 6, 1G. Alright. So they're back up to 1G. De Flieger fires secondaries at D12. Miss. Mokdare fires at the Tiger. Oh, they miss. And secondaries firing at D12. That's a miss. No damage. Ciderlitz firing at Prince Royal up here. Let's see what they get. They roll 8. Minus 3 is 5. 8 damage, 5 armor, 1 to 1. Rolls a 6, another 1G on there. Ciderlitz fires a secondary as a D12. No damage. Alright, D51 firing at D15. Yeah, it's going to be no damage. Or 0 damage. D53, same thing. No damage. Alright, so the damage reveal. So at this point, what we're looking at is the Moktair 1G 1S. Ciderlitz is in tough shape. They're 2G 1S. And Prince Royal's 1G 1S. Lion is 1G. And then, of course, over here, the Blucher is 2G 1S. So tough situation for the Germans. Now, torpedoes are going to be launched from the destroyers, British destroyers, against those main battle cruisers of the Germans. They're going to actually turn and go this way. And this torpedo is actually going to hit over here and potentially cause damage. The other one goes over here. And there we go. Torpedo attack against Ciderlitz. Rolls a 9, 1G, 1S. So that actually wrecks the Ciderlitz. So now these German destroyers are going to try to protect the ships because they're really in trouble, because now the British have achieved their victory condition, wrecking one capital German ship. So they are going to attempt to screen them off so they can't get anything else. Meanwhile, Germans are going to try to dash off from there. So at the end of turn 7, oh, I've got damage control. Sorry, let's do damage control. Moktair, G roll, success. S roll, success. So Moktair looks better. What else do we have here? Probably Blucher. Oh, Prince Royal. Fail on the G. Fail on the S. Lion with a G. They succeed. Blucher on the G. Success. And the S. Fail. Okay, there's the end of turn 7. So at the end of turn 7, really tough shape. British has actually satisfied their victory conditions by wrecking one of the capital ships. Ciderlitz is out of action. They've still taken some serious damage over here. Lion is in tough shape. They've actually got 6 hits on the, or 6 damage points used. No, 5 damage points used, excuse me. So they can't use anymore. They're going to have to try to escape now that they've achieved that. Meanwhile, De Vlieger is in a good crossing the T position on the British battlecruiser fleet, and the Moktair is back in action, so maybe they can do something, but the Blucher is in trouble. They've got 2 major battlecruisers bearing down on it, as well as 3 destroyer groups. So we'll take a look at turn 8 and see what happens with that. Okay, on with turn 8. Tough situation for the Germans, but the British have achieved their victory conditions. So let's take a look at this turn. So first off, the visibility. It's going to be 9 plus 2 is 11. So that's going to keep everybody in visibility that is not blocked by the smoke from the German destroyers. So with the fire phase, we're going to get the De Vlieger flying at the Lion. They roll 5, minus 2 is 3, no damage. Oh, German gunnery is horrible. Moktair firing at the D12 destroyer down here. That's in the smoke. They get no damage. Secondary is doing the same thing, no damage. And that is all the firing. Oh, very sad for the Germans. British Tiger flying at the De Vlieger. 27, no modifiers, 9, that's 16 damage. against 10 armor, 1-1 attack, rolls a 4. Just bounces off. Lion fires at their Flieger, rolls a 12, -4, gets him 10 damage. It's going to be a 1-1, rolls an 8, it's a 1S on them. Prince Royal does the same thing, rolls a 9, and -3 is 6, 2 damage against 10 armor, makes no damage. Okay. D12 is firing at the Mokhtar. They score a miss, no damage. Blucher is firing at New Zealand. Rolls a 7, no damage. 7 -3 is 4, no damage. Blucher's firing at secondaries at D13. It's down here, isn't it? Yeah, down there. And secondaries actually score a hit, 2 damage, but their 5 armor deflects it. New Zealand firing at the Blucher. Misses, 0 damage. Indomitable firing at Blucher. Rolls a 9. Rolls a 10. -1 is 9. With a 4 armor is a 1-1 damage. Rolls a 6, a 1G. They put the G back on there. Then we've got D14 firing. They miss. D13, miss. And D16, miss. All firing at the Blucher. So that's all the firing. And the Germans cannot catch up with them, although the Prince Royal is still in a tough situation over here and could inevitably get wrecked. So for the movement phase, here we go. British battlecruisers continue moving southeast with the destroyers heading down southeast to try to link up with the rest of the destroyers going against the Blucher. And those destroyers move forward, and then Der Flieger moves up to the northeast, and Sardelix can't move, but the other destroyers move. Try to come around to screen out the German battle cruisers. Der Flieger doing damage control, trying to see if they can get rid of their 1S. Fail. Prince Royal, success on the G, fail on the S. So there's still 1S. Blucher tries to get an S, fails. G, fails. And that's the end of turn 8.